soon. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for being here. We're gathered today because we're here to form community, really. And you're here out of respect for yourself, out of love and respect for yourself. You're here because you want to see yourself rise out of the current state of difficulty and isolation, stronger and more connected to your community. I wanted to give a special thanks, of course, to Michael for recognizing the need in the community and initiating and sponsoring this event, for the Letterkenny Chamber for co-sponsoring, Grace Ann for her expertise and diligence in getting the message out to everyone, and of course our moderator, Sabrina. So if you do have questions throughout, type them in the chat box. Sabrina will gather the questions together and we'll, at the end of the 20 minutes, go through some of the questions. The main objective of this course is to navigate during this turbulent storm and come out stronger and with greater clarity, and to build meaningful hope. During this time of external uncertainties, we're going to use this time for reflection and for building the confidence and certainty within yourself, and to build the strength and the courage to take the next step in yourself and for your business. And to really develop the habits that support your physical, mental, and spiritual health, and recognizing that those are so interlinked. And to build a positive and supportive community during a point in our lives of such social isolation. The format, it's a 15 or 20 minute live webinar. They are recorded and I think they'll be shared for your review afterwards as well, followed by some questions and answers. And then to continue our work throughout the week and not just have it be a one-time a week thing, and to really build community, there's this Facebook forum where you guys can join together, gather and discuss with one another throughout the week. I will be posting resources and inspiration throughout the week as well. And then every Thursday evening and Saturday morning, I will go on the group and answer any questions. So at me if you want me to respond to a specific question that you might have or a comment. Okay, the weekly program is designed to guide you from the very basics all the way to delving and finding true and meaningful hope. And hope is the knowledge that you will be okay. You will be all right no matter what. And it's what allows you to see your future in a positive light. Hope is what gives you the strength and courage to take the next step, whatever that step is for you. And it breeds optimism, which fuels a life of positivity and joy within yourself and for all those around you. So today we're focusing on raising self-awareness, to really recognize your true reality and to respect it. Sometimes we might have the notion that something is wrong, and so we turn up the volume, we distract ourselves, we make hasty plans, we get reactive, and we get busier doing a lot more without actually accomplishing more. So I'd like to offer that the first step in progress, in meaningful progress, is to stop and to pause, and to tune into your body, and to build the capacity to identify the cues of what your mind and your body and your spirit are telling you. So the first step in a journey, for example, is to get your bearings and find out where you're at. And the first step in growth is clearing and tilling the soil before you plant the seed, before you let it root. You don't want your decisions during this time of change to be reactions to external forces, because those kinds of reactive decisions don't actually support your true goals. They might get you through temporarily, but you might not end up where you want to actually be. You want to be responsive, not reactive. You want to ground yourself, make proactive decisions with grace. So the skills I'm offering this week for our practice is 1, body scanning, bringing yourself to account each and every day, and gratitude. Without going too deep into the science of things, I will actually post that on the Facebook book because I do believe that when you understand the science behind how your body and mind are working, that motivates you to make the changes that you need to make. Nonetheless, for the sake of having this be a 15 to 20-minute webinar, I will just emphasize that your body and your mind are intimately connected. We all know that to some degree, our mind can control our body. We tell our arms to move and it moves. But your body is always whispering subtle cues, but we might not be listening until it's screaming pain, until, or screaming illness. So this active body scanning that we'll practice now is listening to our body, noticing that maybe this tension in my shoulders, this is cueing my mind that I'm anxious, even if your mind isn't anxious, but you're feeling the tension. So you'll calm, you relax. Oftentimes when we're stressed out, even a little bit of stress, our body senses it and it prepares us for fight and flight. You guys all know this, right? Your heart starts beating faster, you get sweaty, you start getting tense, you're ready to kill something or eat something or hunt something, or run away. And so then all of that sensation in your body feeds back to your mind that this is a state of emergency, even though it might physically not be a state of emergency. That feeds your body to be further stressed, and you go up in this obliterating cycle rapidly. And what that does is almost like a black hole. It obliterates your true essential self, and that's your spirit and your soul in the center of it all. So our goal is to bring out our true essential self, bring out our spirit and our soul, to calm the mind, relax the body, and let your soul and your spirit shine through. I'm going to share more on that later, but instead of telling you, I'll let you experience it now. If you guys are okay with a brief 4-minute body scanning exercise. Usually body scanning is about a 10 to 30-minute exercise, but this is a brief version of it, and I hope it works. Can you guys see? And can you guys hear?
Exercise is the short version of the body scan mindfulness activity. It can help you become more aware.
Stop wasting
No, don't let her scream at you. Don't let her scream at you. Close your ears.
time posting on social media to get clients. The reason I'm stood in front of this
Aware of your present moment sensations and more accepting and in contact with what's going on in your body. This can help with reducing stress and triggering relaxation. So let's begin. Start by bringing attention into your body. You can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, or just soften your gaze. Notice your body seated wherever you're seated, and feel the weight of your body on the chair or on the floor. And notice the chair pressing into you. Take a few deep breaths. And as you take a deep breath, bring in more oxygen, enlivening the body. And as you exhale, have a sense of relaxing more deeply. Now, notice your feet on the floor. Notice the sensations of your feet touching the floor, the weight and the pressure, the vibration or the heat. Notice your legs against the chair or against the ground. What do they feel like? Do you notice pressure, pulsing, heaviness, lightness? Notice each sensation without judging it as good or bad, but simply as a sensation. Notice your back pressing against the chair. Bring your attention into your stomach area. If your stomach is tense or tight, Notice that sensation. Let it soften. Take a breath. Notice your hands. Are your hands tense or tight? See if you can allow them to soften. Notice your arms. Feel any sensation going on in your arms. Notice your shoulders. Let them hang down. Let them soften. Notice your neck and your throat. Let them be soft. As you breathe in and breathe out, imagine your breath filling that space in your neck or in your shoulders, allowing those areas to open up, relax, and soften. Soften your jaw. Let your facial muscles be soft. Notice if you're holding tension around your mouth or in your brow. Now notice your whole body present. Take one more breath in and out. Be aware of your whole body as best you can. Take a slow breath, and then when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
So keep in mind that I'm offering you several tools that you can use. This was one of them. And you will decide for yourself which of these tools is one that you can practice in your own reality. Not everything is for everyone, but I do invite you to give everything a chance. The next skill I'd like to offer is bringing yourself to account. This is the practice of non-judgmental self-improvement. It's a step in recognizing your reality and finding your bearings. I'd like to invite you to use your evenings for reflection, to put away the distractions, put away the phones, turn off the media, and to exit reactive mode and enter a reflective mode. And the questions you ask yourself in the evenings is 3 questions. You don't have to write this one down. You can just do it in your head, or you can write it down if you find that effective. But the first one is, what did I learn today? Or what did the world offer to me today? The second question is, what did I do well today? Or what did I offer to the world, to the universe today? And the third question, this is a question of non-judgment, remember this. It's no guilt, it's just owning it, planning improvement. This is a question that perhaps a lot of you experience that you ask yourself before bed anyway, but it's what keeps you awake, it keeps you restless. But what can I do better tomorrow? What happened and what can I do better tomorrow? And remember that progress is made little by little, day by day. And the next skill is the skill of living with gratitude. So what is gratitude? Gratitude is thankfulness and appreciation. Right? It's an attitude of acknowledging what you have received. It's an attitude. It's an affirmation of goodness, that things are actually good. What happens is actually good. It's my opportunity for growth, or it's my gift from the world. And gratitude is actually what facilitates a source of connection to one of the most organic principles of life, and that is we are a community. We are interdependent. Gratitude means receiving, and in that feeling of receiving, you give, and then you receive, and you give. And you can't give and receive without a community. So in moments of isolation, we feel less lonely, less of physical isolation. We feel less mentally isolated when we're looking through a lens of gratitude, because we understand the process, the cycle of giving and receiving. Gratitude is a sense of humility, not taking things for granted. And it's a recognition of our reality, an affirmation of goodness. And there's two types of gratitude, right? There's state gratitude. That's just current things. That's making your list of things you're grateful for. That's giving thanks to people when they do something for you or you receive something, right? And then there's trait gratitude. And trait gratitude is the lens with which you look through at your world. And you develop trait gratitude through practicing state gratitude. It cultivates this state of being. Trait gratitude opens you up to connection, into more experiences, into achievements, more kindness, more compassion, more generosity. And we'll look at some of the studies that support that. But it's, in essence, it's the foundation of abundance. Abundance, not just financial and material security kind of abundance, but in your own abundance, your own sense of health, your feelings of abundance and meaningful relationships. And when you practice, or when you look through the lens of gratitude, you recognize that abundance is a matter of perspective. We see more of what we have when we're looking through the lens of gratitude. So if you can increase your sense of abundance without actually increasing the amount of stuff in your home, or the amount of frivolous relationships, or the amount of things you do, then why not give gratitude a go, at least for the next week? The science behind it, it's resolute. I mean, in the past decade, mostly, there's been multitude of studies supporting the practice of state gratitude to achieve trait gratitude. One of the leading researchers being Dr. Emmons, who is one of the leading researchers in positive psychology. The main study that a lot of people look at is thousands of people between the ages of 8 and 80 were put through the practice of, for 3 weeks, for 21 days, they wrote down 5 things they were grateful for every day for just 21 days. And of course, they had immediate positive feelings. They started seeing more of what they have. But 6 months later, they measured changes in their physical health, psychological, and social changes. And they still, from the cellular level of a stronger immune system, less illness, to decrease feelings of anxiety and depression, improve self-esteem, reduce feelings of resentment, increased forgiveness and generosity, and improved meaningful relationships. 6 months later, after a 21-day practice of gratitude. So how do you cultivate it? I'll offer you four tools. One is to practice state gratitude, and that is write it down. 3 specific things that you are grateful for every day. You can do it in the morning or evening, whatever works best for you. But it changes your perspective a little bit. You start seeing things you didn't see before, just within a few days. But we know that there's long-lasting changes as well. The next way to cultivate gratitude is practicing mindfulness. We all have a tendency towards hedonic adaptation. That's getting used to good things, expecting them, and then expecting more, wanting more, because we've gotten used to it, right? I mean, an example of this actually, when I was writing this slide specifically, I had taken a break, I got down, I got my cup of tea, I got a nice piece of chocolate, and I started to work, and I took a bite out of that chocolate, and that first bite, I was like, this, and it literally was, I'm not joking, this is the best chocolate I've ever had in my life as far as I can remember. And then I started working. I don't remember, and I had all of these feelings of gratitude. I had feelings of my husband bringing home the chocolate, the natural way for supplying the chocolate, to the cocoa farmers who made the chocolate, you know, like grew it. All of these in that first bite. But I don't remember the rest of that piece of chocolate. Why? Because I started working. I was typing. I wasn't mindful of it. And so all of a sudden the chocolate had disappeared, and I was like, what happened to it? It was gone. I was home alone, so no one took it. And it was interesting because immediately I'm like, oh, I need more. But then luckily I was writing this down. I was typing out this slide, and I was like, oh, I was just not mindful. I wasn't present. And this is particularly important during this time because we are all, a lot of us are working at home, and our kids are at home. And so we tend to fall into this trap of multitasking. And you can't be mindful and grateful while multitasking. I've learned this. Because if you're trying to type emails or be on a phone call and your child needs something, you're either going to get frustrated with the work or you're going to get frustrated with your child. So throughout the next few weeks, we're going to talk about how to make that multitasking not a necessity and be able to organize and prepare ourselves for the day so we not fall into that trap and live more mindfully. Only this in this moment. The other way to cultivate gratitude is to express it, to say things, to tell people how grateful you are for them. There was a study where people wrote gratitude letters to a very specific person. This is just one act. And then they actually delivered the letter. They called the person on the phone and read them the letter, or they went to their home. We can't go to people's homes. So read them the letter. And 6 months later, again, both the person receiving the letter and the person delivering the letter had increased feelings of satisfaction with their lives and happiness. And the last way to cultivate gratitude that I'll share with you today is the practice of mental subtraction. Now, if you tend towards anxiety and depression, I would not suggest this for you because it can lead down a little side path. But the idea is you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone, right? So, I mean, a lot of us have had a lot of external things stripped away from us anyway, so we might be living in this state. But the idea is you sit down, reflect on something that is precious to you, imagine it wasn't there, and then you end that reflection, you come out of it more grateful. Ultimately, the goal is to reach a state of radical gratitude. And what is radical gratitude? Being able to practice gratitude for everything. For everything, good or bad. To be grateful for it. For the pandemic, for lockdown. You ask yourself, can I be grateful for this too? And if the answer is no, don't push it. Just leave it and move on. But if something, I guarantee you, during the next week, something's going to happen that was unexpected. You did not want it to happen. Take a minute. I invite you to take a minute. Do a quick body scan, deep breath. Ask yourself, can I be grateful for this too? I suggest if you allow your brain a little bit of curiosity, you might find an answer to that question. But again, if the answer is no, just leave it. You can solve the problem. And you can be grateful that you can solve the problem. Okay. So make a commitment now. I've taken probably 20 minutes of your time now to use this 20 minutes to your benefit. Turn down the chaos. Tune into your body. Listen to what is within you. Choose to operate from a locus of gratitude and recognize your reality. I invite you to choose one of the practices at least and to do it daily. And I'll share some resources with you on the Facebook page, and I'll make sure to join the group when they send you the group. And then this week is simple. The goal is to recognize your reality and to respect it. Next week is when we're setting intentions and we're following through. In the weeks to follow, we'll be going through very practical things: nutrition, movement, exercise. It gets more practical, and then it gets more, abstract toward the end as well. So thank you for your time.